What's a mixed
biracial marriage. So one of the parents is white and one of the parents is black. Is your hand up?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be some difficulties that could stem from a biracial marriage? As the child.
Kids maybe making fun of her.
Okay, so maybe bullying. What else? Yeah?
Kids who were taught that, like, oh, you're not supposed to do that, then they see that and they make bad comments about it.
Okay, so kids that make bad comments about it as well.
She might not be respected in the word setting.
Okay, Caleb.
Old judgmental people that don't believe in experience.
Okay, so maybe like stereotyping, especially from like older generations.
Like my grandma.
Everyone always says a grandma.
Just my grandma.
Think about this too, okay? Does anyone in here have different ethnic parents? Is it your dad Hispanic?
Yeah.
And your mom's white?
What?
Okay. Reagan, how do you identify? Okay. So, would you, if someone said, are you Mexican, would you say yes?
Yes.
Have you ever heard people be like, you don't look Mexican?
Yes. So
Does that bother
many
you?
times. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So my husband does the same thing, because his mom's white and his dad is black. So for him, it's either you don't feel white enough or you don't feel black enough. So there's this constant battle. Even with my kid, because he's got lighter skin, he's like, the caramel's starting to come out. People are like, when's the black going to come in? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's just this color. And so there's a constant battle of trying to figure out your identity in these types of situations. And that's kind of what we're going to see with her, is that you don't know in which way to identify, and oftentimes one of the parents will understand the struggle. Okay? So that's where she's coming from in her poetry. So we're going to read her background really quick. So follow, is everyone here actually? Let me stop. Is everyone on the textbook?
Yes.
Page 147. So go to the textbook, page 147. Native of Gulfport, Mississippi, Trethewey has published several collections of poetry and is a professor of English and creative writing at Emory University. Her first collection, Domestic Work in 2000, earned her the Cave Canon Poetry Prize, awarded each year to the best first book by an African-American poet. Trethewey has since won many other honors, including the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 2007 for her book, Native Guard. Okay? So, we talked about her background. She is she's biracial, black and white. She has a lot of that stuff. Think as you read, think about the decision faced by the cat in the poem and the advantages and disadvantages of each possible course of action. Okay? So think of the different things the cat could do. That's what it means by course of action. Alright? So turn the page. Are we all on page 148? Okay.
At dusk.
At first, I think she is calling a child, my
my
neighbor,
neighbor,
leaning through her
doorway
doorway
at
at
dusk.
dusk. Street
Street
lamps just starting to hum,
the
the backdrop of
evening.
evening. Then I hear the
high-pitched
high-pitched
wheedling
wheedling we send out to animals who know
only
only
sound,
not the
not the
meanings
meanings
of our words.
Hear,
Hear,
nor how
nor
they
how they
sometimes fall
fall
short.
short.
In
In
another
another
yard,
yard,
beyond my
neighbor's
neighbor's sight, the cat lifts her ears, turns
turns
first toward the voice, then back to the constellation of fireflies flickering near her head. It's as if she can't decide whether to leap over the low hedge, the neat row of flowers, and bound onto the porch into the steady circle of light, or stay where she is. Luminous possibility. All that would keep her away from home, flitting before her.
I listen as my neighbor's voice trails off. She's given up calling for now. Left me to imagine her inside the house waiting. Perhaps in a chair in front of the TV. Or walking around, doing small tasks. Left me to wonder that I like to lift my voice, sure of someone out there. Send it over the lines, stitching here to there. Certain the sounds I make are enough to call someone home.
Okay, so raise your hand if you're like, okay, I got it. Give me a fist in the air if you feel like I have no clue what I just listened to. Okay, so I'm going to read it out loud one more time, and I want you guys to follow along as I read. Okay, I think it might help to hear it one more time. So first of all, who's the speaker? Who is speaking? Okay, so a woman. Okay, the cat is not speaking. All right, so a woman is speaking a neighbor. She hears her neighbor calling for the cat. Okay, listen again. Follow along as I read, so hope. At first, I think she is calling a child, my neighbor, leaning through her doorway at dusk. Street lamps just starting to hum the backdrop of evening. Then I hear the high-pitched wheedling we send out to animals who know only sound, not the meanings of our words, hear, hear, nor how they sometimes fall short. Okay, so stop there. What's happening? Mary.
The woman is calling on a cat.
Okay, and what does she mean when she says, then I hear the high-pitched wheedling we send out to animals who know only sound? What does that mean? Reagan?
Like the whistle that
Yeah.
people do for like dogs and cats and stuff because they know.
Okay, like when I say, I'm like, Jack, here. He doesn't know what here means. He just knows that when he hears that, he's supposed to come. Because I've trained him. He's an excellent dog trainer. I'm sure. Okay? Alright, here we go. In another yard, beyond my neighbor's sight, the cat lifts her ears, turns first toward the voice, then back to the constellation of fireflies flickering near her head. It's as if she can't decide whether to leap over the low hedge, the neat row of flowers, and bound onto the porch into the steady circle of light, or stay where she is. Luminous possibility, all that would keep her away from home, flitting before her. Okay, what's happening now? Someone besides Mary or Reagan. Caleb.
So she says that though the neighbor can't see it, she sees the cat.
Okay.
And it hears the noise, starts to head home, but then stops and keeps playing with these wire.
Okay, and what's the choice the cat is making? To go
home or stay out?
Okay. That's what she says when she says, numerous possibilities. So many possibilities. Okay? Alright, finish it up. I listen as my neighbor's voice trails off. She's given up calling for now, left me to imagine her inside the house waiting, perhaps in a chair in front of the TV or walking around doing small tasks. Left me to wonder that I too might lift my voice, sure of someone out there, send it over the lines, stitching here to there, certain the sounds I make are enough to call someone home. Okay? Now what's happening in this last section? I'm pretending like I don't see very good. Okay. Emma, Jillian, Kaden, Kyle, any ideas? Sheridan, Emma?
Like she's wondering if maybe if she calls out someone will come to her.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's lonely or something.
Okay, connect it back to her.
She said that she's mixed race, so maybe she feels like she doesn't have a place where she belongs. So she, like you were saying, she doesn't feel all black, but she also doesn't feel all white.
Great connection. She's looking for what her home is. Great connection. So, figurative language, what would the cat be? Remember, the author is using something to describe her experience in her life. And she's using the cat as an example. What's that called? Yeah,
Well, is the cat just supposed to be representing her?
yes. What's that called, remember? Anyone? Yeah. Personification, or when you compare something without using like or as. A metaphor. Okay, so the cat is a metaphor. Good. Alright. So one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is the use of language. Okay, number one. When she says, I listen as my neighbor's voice trails off. Why would she use the term trails off?
It's slowly getting quieter.
Okay, because when you're calling for a dog, or a cat, I'm sorry, I have a dog. When you're calling for your lost pet, you're like frantic at first. You're calling for them, right? And then slowly you kind of give up when they don't come back. So she's seeing like the desperation that's kind of like hang on in this woman's voice. Alright? And what's a constellation? Okay. So why would she say constellation instead of a cluster or a group? What's the difference? What's the difference? Okay, Julian. Okay. Because a constellation's what? More of like...
It's more of like spontaneous
and when I think of constellation, I think of something a lot prettier than just like a cluster. Right? Like a cluster, I think of like...
between like stars and fireflies.
Yeah, and she's parallel between stars and fireflies. What you're thinking? Yeah. So, do we understand what this poem is kind of doing now? Should we read it one more time to kind of put it all together? We feel like we got it. Huh? Okay. So, you guys have an assignment. You have asked us reading questions, numbers 1 through 6. Okay, so on page 150, there's analyzing the text, questions 1 through 6. Okay, so the first one says, the speaker talks about the cat not hearing meanings of our words, nor how they sometimes fall short. What might this mean? Okay, so you guys have to go back through and kind of reread the text, answer these questions. You can do it on a Google Doc, you can do it in a text box, doesn't matter to me. I'll come around and help you guys, or you can help in groups. Yeah, they're in your book.
No, I'm saying that there's this.
Oh, no content?
Yeah.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Okay? So go through those 6 and let me know if you have any questions. Okay?